There are a few things happening in the Woodfordhill constituency that probably some of you are aware of and some of you are not. So I would like to take this opportunity just to highlight what is happening in the Woodfordhill community. I will touch on a few subject areas or things of interest to the Woodfordhill community and the residents of Woodfordhill. First, I would like to just briefly touch on the tourism product that we have in Woodfordhill. During the last cleanup community day of service, a lot of work was done on the access road going to Pan Lake, and a lot of young people got involved because they know if that area is developed, we can have a good tourism product right here in the community of Woodfordhill. And I would like to continue discussions with the young group to see how we can come up with a plan to present to government so we can get some funds to do it and do it in a proper way so we can use it as a real income earner for residents of Woodfordhill. The other main area that we have, and we passively talk about it like, you know, the Woodfordhill beach, but just recently the other access to the Turtle Beach was cleared up, and then we have the main Woodfordhill white sand beach, and a lot of people go there, but there is some issues with, you know, the maintenance of the area when you're accessing the area from the main road going down. So that is another project that I am taking on to probably bring to the minister who is in charge of NEP, Ian Douglas, so we can develop a plan on how we're going to maintain the access to the Woodfordhill beach, to beautify the area accessing the Woodfordhill beach, and to clean up the Woodfordhill beach. So anytime you go there, it's always a place that you feel comfortable to be at. And the same group or other group of persons who are interested in developing a plan, we would like to do that. I know we've done some work there when we did, I think a few years ago, the Community Day of Service, but we want to have it as a continuous thing so we can maintain that beach and probably do some little cabanas on there that we also can generate some income. One of the main programs that the Government of Dominica rolled out in the past few years is the National Employment Program. We all call it NEP or NEP. In the Wesley constituency, we have about 35 persons employed under the program. In Woodfordhill, we have individuals as education mentors. In this school, we are looking to have an additional person as an education mentor added to the two that is already existing. We also have a person in the kitchen for the school feeding program. We have a few individuals, ladies, who are employed as caregivers. And I go through the village on a routine basis and look at and do my walk around and talk to individuals who would be needing some assistance from some care. Most times they have families or probably they are engaged trying to do some work to get some employment for themselves and some income for themselves. And it's a little difficult to do that and to also take care of an elderly person or someone that is shut in. So we have NEP persons employed providing care to those individuals. We also have young persons on the NEP who are employed as cleanup and beautification individuals. That's where we have the majority of our NEP persons in Woodfordhill. If you walk through Woodfordhill, I think the village is much cleaner than it used to be because you have a group of young women and men going through doing the cleanup and also planting flowers on the wayside, so to enhance the beauty of Woodfordhill. So we I recently had a conversation with the principal of the school, and she had identified some other areas that she would be needing some assistance. And this have to be brought to the minister and also to cabinet to get approval before we can add additional persons onto the NEP. So the NEP is working for Woodfordhill, and it is working well. Hopefully we will have the minister here who is responsible for that to give you a better insight into how the NEP operates. But I will expand on that a little later. When we talk about education, in this facility that we sit, the government spent a considerable amount of money to renovate this, the entire school. All the windows in the school were replaced, the roof and electrical work was done. And it's a considerable amount. I'm looking to get the figures or the total of how much money was spent to bring the Woodfordhill school to, you know, somewhere where when the rain falls, the kids wouldn't get wet because the rain is not going to flash in and the windows are able to be closed. So your kids will be safe, your children will be safe. Additionally, work is ongoing in the kitchen. We are replacing the cupboards in the kitchen to a tune of $6,535.46. Also, the tiling is, they're replacing the tiles in the kitchen at a total of $1,715.88. So the work is continuing, and we are hoping to have that part of the kitchen working in the next couple of weeks. So probably after the carnival season, your kids will return to school and they will have access to a new kitchen facility that they can enjoy their lunch from. Regarding education also, we are collecting data of all the Woodfordhill students who are attending the Dominica State College. And we are doing so to help government, to give government the information that they can provide you with some much needed assistance for transportation. It's not a lot, but it's enough that will make a big difference if you don't have to provide $150 every month for your son or your daughter to go to the state college. We have sports in Woodfordhill. Sports in Woodfordhill is a big area that, you know, we have a thriving football team in Woodfordhill. We have some of our members who have participated and competed on the national level. And government, knowing that Woodfordhill is an area where sports is a big deal in Woodfordhill, that they invested almost $150,000 for the improvement works at the Woodfordhill playing field. I know to date we should have had a little more on there, but this was given to the village council for them to do the work on the playing field. Just a couple of weeks ago, I had a meeting with the village council. They invited me to come in, and we did talk about the progress on the playing field. And I know they were waiting for some technical advice because some of the work that was done, they had to redo it because it was not done the proper way. So they had to redo that, and they are waiting for the technical advice so that they can continue to do the work. Additionally, I provided the team of football players with some uniforms because in the past, I think they outgrew their uniforms, so they had to go borrow other uniforms for them to, you know, compete with other football teams. So now they are, you know, outfitted with new uniforms so they don't have to borrow other person's uniforms. On the 70+ pension assistance, we have over 30 individuals from Woodfordhill village receiving monthly allowance from the program. The government, as all of us know, increased the 200 supplement to you by 100. So some persons, they are getting $300 a month. If you have an income coming in from Social Security or other areas, you will get something to top it up, to bring it up to $300. You may hear rumors that some people are not getting the assistance from the pension program, but it's not a pension program that is catered to some individuals. It is catered to all individuals 70 plus. So when you reach the age of 70, there are forms available at the village council, and there are also forms available at the office down Falang that, you can share the word with others who will be reaching their 70th birthday soon, that they can access the form. All you need to do is bring a picture ID, and you complete the forms according to what is on there, and your process, the stuff will be processed, and you will get the assistance that is required. For agriculture, agriculture is one of the main income earner for residents in Woodfordhill, in the Woodfordhill area. This Labour Party government, placed $10 million at the aid bank to assist farmers in getting the funds needed to help them with their cultivation and also to help them with productivity. And in areas where farmers cannot pay the persons they need to help them cultivate or till the soil, the funds are available to you, so you can go access the funds and you can get to pay somebody to do the work for you if you're unable to do all of what it is you need to do. I know recently we had the Young Farmers Group of Woodfordhill and Wesley, but it was hijacked the last meeting where the UWP representative came in and did a botched job on telling the persons who were present, or more or less deterring them to access the funds, making them feel scared that if they access the funds, they will not be able to pay it back. And that caused a lot of farmers to hesitate in going to asking for the funds from the aid bank. I want to tell you that the aid bank is very much interested, especially in the small farmers and young farmers, female farmers, that they would come to them and ask about the criteria that are listed, so they will be able to help you for you to access those funds. There are individuals from Woodfordhill, probably large farmers, who have accessed those funds, and then they deter the farmers who really need the assistance from accessing the funds. So I want to encourage you to go to the aid bank, or if you need them to return here, that we could have another information session on how you can access the funds. I will be very willing and accommodating to have them come back. We cannot allow an opportunity like that to just pass us by, because the money is sitting there in the aid bank and persons are scared to go get the money because they are afraid of paying back. I know I attended a town hall meeting yesterday with my colleague here, Honorable Roselyn Paul, and the Minister of Agriculture spoke about trade with the Minister of Trade and himself, where they went over to Macnic to find trading agreement for farmers. And one of the concerns that we have is that when those agreements are arrived at, that people would remain true to those commitments. Because if you're not true to those commitments, then you may end up losing the market for that. So there are certain criteria that the European Union place upon the produce that is coming into their countries, and we have to adhere to those. So I will organize again another meeting that we can get some additional information when those things are updated from both ministers, the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of Trade, so that we can provide you with that information, so you will be able to know what type of product that you would harvest and what you will cultivate for you to be able to get an income for yourself. One of the major issues in Woodfordhill right now is the entrance road coming into Woodfordhill. It is terrible, and we have had a few visits from the Ministry of Public Works, and they came, they did the survey, and then they returned and they did the estimate. The estimate is for, I have to put on my glasses for me to see that. The estimate is for 256 meters of road and paving. So that is from the entrance of, coming in from Cocky area there, from the almond tree, and going past the school to the junction where the paving starts at Big Cedar. So it's a long piece of road. What's that? Well, we have to do it in phases because it's quite expensive. So the cost to do that road, just that part of the road, not even the entire thing going up, is $1,205,741.07 to do that. So it's a lot of work. So this estimate is in. The person that have to make the approval for this is the Prime Minister, and he made a commitment that he would do the repairs for the road. So we just have to wait to see how he's going to do it, how it will be phased in, which if we do it in sections, but the road will be done. So just bear courage with us and be a little patient. I know you've been very patient for a long while, but I have done quite a bit of work on that, and we are seeing some results, and we will get the work done soon. You just noticed the Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darroux. He's the Minister of Health and Environment, and I know quite a few of you would have some questions. I didn't touch health yet because I know that is his thing, and I would like him to touch on it, and he will explain to you about what it is that he thinks is affecting us in the area. During this presentation to you, I outlined quite a few things as to how much impactful it is to the community. We talk about the NEP program, we talk about the road rehabilitation, we talk about the 70+ program, we talk about the stipends to kids, to students going to the Dominica State College. We talk about the caregivers. And I would like you to know that all these things that were mentioned to you before, all of this is done because of the CBI program, the Citizenship by Investment program. The Government of Dominica have a very good product. And because of that product, we are able, the government is able to get funds to help you, the local person in your community. Just imagine for a moment that some persons who are on the NEP, that is taken away from you. The income that you get bi-weekly or monthly, you're unable to get that. So you cannot provide for your children, you cannot pay your light bill, you cannot buy food, you cannot do the things that you have become accustomed to because you are on the NEP program. Just think again, some of us here are 70+, you get a stipend of $300 a month. It makes life a bit easier for you. Certain things you could not do before, you're able to do it now. So your life is a little more comfortable. You have students going to school, and then you have $150 that will be given to them as a grant to assist them with their transportation back and forth from school. If you have to do that, and sometimes you don't have the money to give the children to take the bus to go to school, then they have to stay back. Government is making that available to you, so less of that can happen. We talk about the main thing in Woodfordhill, which is the main road, this road here. And this project will not be undertaken if the CBI program is halted. So, I am saying this to help you to understand why the CBI program is so important to us. I forgot to mention that we also have NEP persons at the village council. So we are trying in every way possible to get employment for persons in the Woodfordhill and the Wesley constituency. So imagine for a moment all these individuals that are under the NEP and the development we want to have in Woodfordhill. This is halted. How would you feel? How do you feel about the persons who are advocating to have this program stop that will impact your life negatively? So we are here, and I am here to share with you the importance of your vocal support to the CBI program and how much of an impact it made on your life and how much you should be in support of what it is that the government is trying to do for you to enhance your life. Because agriculture is struggling. We have a product that is working, and we need to support the government on the product that is helping us to enhance our quality of life. So, without further ado, I just want to pass it on to my colleague Roselyn Paul to say a few words. If you're looking to do some business, she will be able to give you some insight on that.
I will speak first of all to what the government has been doing or is doing towards private sector and enterprise development of industry. As all of us would know, of my age range and even older, at one point in time, banana was the backbone of the economy. So before my time was lime and cocoa and all of this. So we are still largely an agricultural-based economy. Another major aspect of sector that contributes to the economy is tourism. But we know the challenges, for example, that the banana industry is challenged by. That includes the most recent, well, we had the drop of the preferential treatment in the UK market, and which caused a number of challenges in the banana. And this has been compounded of late by disease such as the black sigatoka. But even in the face of financial crisis worldwide, we in Dominica have been able to stay afloat. And this is because the government, this Labour Party government, is very focused and is led by a visionary leader and has a holistic plan for the country. And so in terms of private sector development, we continue to make investments. Right now, you would have heard Athenia just mention that government has placed $10 million at the aid bank, and not just accessible credit, but it's affordable and not only available credit, but accessible and affordable credit. It is credit where you only pay 3% interest rate, and where you are given a 6 months grace period. Just imagine you are in the production, for example, of lettuce or cucumbers. You have 6 months to make enough money without having to pay a cent, so that you can pay back the bank. The bank in itself has some terms and conditions. You know, it's a bank and it needs to have the money repaid. But it is not as stringent as the ordinary loan in that, for example, if you want a loan of 15 million, I think, you do not need collateral. 15,000, you do not need collateral. And so it makes it easier. No collateral, 3% interest rate, 6 months grace period. So those of you who would want to expand in terms of agriculture, or young people who want to start off, we know young people particularly and women often do not have collateral. So it's a way for the young people who are interested to get involved in agriculture. If you want to produce, for example, to get into poultry and to produce for the abattoir that government has invested in, again, towards the enhancement of agriculture, towards reducing our imports, then you can also get into that. So there are many areas under agriculture where the livestock or cultivation you could get into. In terms of tourism, government has also placed $15 million towards the expansion of the hotel sector. Hotel and restaurateurs can get a loan from under that facility as well. And just to go back to the agricultural loan, in 5 months, $700,000 was disbursed. So by December, end of December, $700,000 was disbursed. So in a 5-month period. So it indicates to you that it was responding to a felt need, that there was a need for this money, and that it is not as difficult to get as you may perceive. Government also placed $1 million, well, government just approved $1 million to go towards those in the creative industry, such as musicians and performing artists, because we are seeking to assist those in that industry to be able to further and expand their businesses. As well, under consideration, actually the manufacturers and agro-processors, based on a meeting with the Prime Minister, has just submitted their proposal to the Prime Minister, and this is with a view to put in a similar facility at the aid bank to benefit manufacturers and agro-processors. And so all of these credit facilities is with the view to investing in sustainable programs so that we could expand the economy, and in the event that we no longer have access to the citizenship by investment program, or it drops, like everything in life, you never know what happens, we can ensure we have a sustainable economy. And all of these that I spoke about, these funds, these millions of dollars, are provided because of the citizenship by investment program. And actually we were able to raise, the last budget you would have heard that we raised 200 million and more from the citizenship by investment program. And it's since that time, since this announcement, Bagay Levy show. It has nothing to do with anything else since this announcement, because we've had a citizenship by program since in time of Mamo. And workers came and they re-energized, but I'm not sure what type of energy, if it's steam engine they had. And then now we have sought to rebrand the program, fix it up, promote the program, go out there where you have the millionaires and billionaires who can come and invest, and we are reaping the result. You're désolé. But, of course, yes, the désolé. So, government has been doing a lot, and through this very citizenship by investment program, we have a number of real estate projects. These projects are a number of hotels. There are 5 hotels, including the range development in Portsmouth, the Bois Cotlet in Soufriere, Jungle Bay is going to rebuild through the Citizenship by Investment Program. We have Silver Beach Hotel and Sunstone Inc. So 5 hotels, and Dr. Darroux will tell you the housing development in Bellevue-Chopin, targeting the petite servant people who lost their homes, who lost their property, who lost lives, to be able to resettle these people. So with these real estate projects, what you have is a number of big investors investing in those companies, investing in those projects. And that will seek to expand our economy, create jobs, and create new businesses to provide goods and services to all of these projects. And even during construction, there are 200 and odd people employed in the range development construction. And that includes, range development is the hotel at Bell Hall. And that includes 110. When I last checked about 2 weeks ago, there were 110 Dominicans employed in the construction of this hotel. And that includes quite a few from my constituency. Who put out themselves out there and they're employed. So I think I have about 20 people down there. And I hope that there are some of the Woodfordhill people employed as well. So it creates employment and income so that these people can take care of themselves and their families. And it also ensures that businesses like the hardware, like M&R and Rudolph and P.H. Williams, they sell these goods, and that in turn is in the economy. So they make money, and you have more money in the economy of Dominica. And in fact, P.H. Williams set up shop just opposite. So Range Hotel doesn't even have to go anywhere to get their sand and stones. They have it right next door. And I also noticed when I went there, you had small businesses who set up shop to come and sell the snacks, the lunch, and so. So even while the hotel is developing, people of Dominica are benefiting from these projects, and these projects are a component of the Citizenship by Investment Program. The thing about the Citizenship by Investment Program is that is simply that by virtue of the fact you are investing about $200,000 US in this country, you can apply to become a citizen. And people who live here just come, like the Haitians, the Dominican Republicans, they come, they live here for some time. Some of them may marry, some may not. They live for 7 years. They're entitled to apply to become a citizen. So why can't somebody who decides to invest $500,000 EC dollars or more in our country cannot be entitled to become a citizen? And it is still not just automatic that you apply and you just get a passport. It has to go through a rigorous system. In fact, there are 4 international companies who are responsible, very independent, that when you apply, they put you under scrutiny, extreme vetting, according to Trump. Where you were born, where you live, how many children you have, what business you have. So you go through a whole vetting process, not by our office, but by these international companies. And they apply international regulations. So when people begin to question our processes, they are actually questioning the international regulations that we apply to our citizenship program. And all over the world, there are citizenship by investment program. It may not be called that, but there are. It is just that our program is rated as one of the best in the Caribbean, and so it attracts many more people than our neighbors. Okay, so this again is effort to ensure expansion of the economy, investment, enterprise development. We reach a stage, actually, as a young teacher, I know there were times I wasn't paid my salary on time. I know there were times when money was borrowed from the private sector to pay salaries from Social Security, from Lime at the time it was Cable and Wireless. And we have moved so far ahead to the extent that no longer is money borrowed from the private sector, but government is in a position to provide funds to the private sector development. So that's so far we've come. And so we need to appreciate where we are right now and thank God for it, and do not get sidetracked or confused. I am sure we are an intelligent people and we cannot be confused easily. At the Ministry of Commerce, we also provide grant support to small businesses. These are businesses these are people who would not be able to face the bank sometimes, or who may already have a loan and cannot face the bank, to either expand their business or to start off a small business. It targets, you apply for that grant, and then a business officer will talk to you, follow up with you. And as long as this business is seen as one that is viable, you are given a grant. We provide grants up to $15,000 because it's in very high demand. Sometimes you do not get the 15,000, but you should not underestimate, though small, the impact it can have. Just imagine, you may decide to get into poultry, or you may decide to start off your small business. A lot of the big business people in the world started very small, and they were able to expand. So at $2,000, $5,000, $7,000 to put you into business, and then you roll over with your turnover, you can reinvest and expand, can make a big impact in your life. Some people started that small, and next thing they employ others. So we help these small businesses either to start or to expand. So we provide that financial assistance. We also provide technical advice, technical support. We provide training too, because we have to put you in the mood that it is a business, or else what you find, we say you cool it very easily, you cool it. So we do not want the businesses to cool it. So we provide the support, the advice, the training, so that you can become independent and on your feet. We also have what we call a rural-based enterprise program, where we go in, we speak to the community, or the community people may come to us, it may be as a group or as individuals, and we look at the need of the community, and we use existing space to assist these people. So if, for example, just last week, we launched a rural-based enterprise in Paixbouche. So a group of young men, 10 of them were trained, so in fishing, in fish pot making, etc. So we came in, we equipped them with boats. They had a couple from the NGO, and we provided the rest with boat engines, with freezer, with cooler, all the things that they need to run it as a business. And over the next year or so, we'll be working very closely with them until they become a full-fledged business. And we were happy to see that they are already doing fine. In Siniku, we have where we train women, so they're producing uniform and other They do sewing, so they provide clothes and they are able to earn. So we have about 6 women in there working. In Dublin, there's what we call Dreams and Stitches for soft furnishing. So we go into the community and we look at what is the need. In Grand Front, we have beekeeping. In Bells, we are going to work with them in terms of dashing and preserving the dashing, freezing it, packaging it. So we go to the communities and we help to incubate small businesses. So that's a program we have targeting rural communities in Dominica. Okay, and Phineas spoke of the NEP program, the senior program, support to education that the government, so all of the social programs that the government is into, is providing support for, is investing in the people, housing, and not just supporting the DSC. In fact, more than 90% of the Dominica State College students, their tuition is supported by government. So no longer do we have just one child going to college. We used to call it sixth form college. Maybe no children from any community or 1 or 2, but we now have more than 87% of students leaving secondary school going to college because government invested in a state college. So many students in our families can have an associate degree. And the tuition is paid. And further, Athenia told you, we now provide some stipend for transportation because we know what it is traveling from Woodfordhill to go state college every day. Every day means at $20, finding at $20. So those are the things that we do. And just to tell you in terms of NEP, NEP doesn't just provide you with the ability to learn an income, but it allows people the opportunity to contribute to their community. So most communities you go now, I am sure you see a difference. It is clean, it is beautiful, and I'm sure it gives you that sense of pride in your community, doesn't it? When you see your community clean and shining and beautiful, it brings that sense. And further, it helps you to build a career. I'm sure this young lady here who is engaged at environmental health, yes, okay, is learning certain skills that she would not ordinarily have. So it helps you to build your skills, to build your career path. While you learn, you earn, so you contribute to your country's development and you gain income to improve your life and that of your family. So the washrooms too, we are into an elimination program, elimination of pit latrine program. So every person who has a pit latrine will be getting proper washroom facilities, and we hope to knock that off according to the Prime Minister's plan by the end of 2017. And again, we can help to improve the quality of life of our people because we have a well-regulated, attractive citizenship by investment program. And so we are reinvesting this program in our people to improve your lives and to add or expand the economy to make Dominica better.
My portfolio is health and environment. So I will touch a little on the environment and also health, and also try to go a little more in depth into our much talked about CBI program, although I think the 2 speakers before me did an excellent job as to the importance of the CBI. As it pertains to the environment, I'm pretty much aware that you have had some issues in terms of pick-up garbage, pick-up collection, etc. in recent times. I mean, Athenia would have been on my case almost every day. There was one I stopped answering the messages. I was so fed up of her, asking me to see what we can do in terms of the pickup of garbage, etc. To be honest, and they will tell them a very honest and heart-to-heart person, I speak very frankly, that you know that the Dominica Solid Waste Corporation is the one responsible for the collection of garbage. And the corporation has had its difficulties in recent times. And as we speak, Ms. Paul can allude to that, and Athenia to a certain extent, that we are really trying to put together a comprehensive package to get solid waste back on its feet again. But I think in spite of the issues we have with the pickup, that we as citizens also need to be a bit more responsible and manage our waste properly. It's not, we have limited space, what they call limited space in the landfill at Fokole. And there are lots of stuff that we put in the garbage for pickup that we really can manage in our backyard, you know, what they call it organic, the stuff that can rot or decompose, okay, or rot, the organic stuff. That a simple hole in our backyard, okay, and then it gets back, it forms back soil or manure, etc. So we don't have to put everything into the garbage, and a lot of times this organic stuff, the stuff that rot, which is what we put in the garbage, which is what attracts the dogs and the rodents, etc. So when the truck doesn't come along, maybe on a particular day, find the dogs and everything, I'm strewing them all over the place. So we really have to also be a bit more responsible when it comes to managing our garbage, and not just throw everything out there in the hope that it truck. But as I said, I can assure you that we are having serious issues in terms of the collection. But just to let you know that I'm pretty sure in the coming months, with the commitment given to myself, like the Chairman of Cabinet, Minister of Finance, Prime Minister, that we should see an improvement in the collection of garbage. So I'm pretty sure most of you some of you would ask me this question. So before you ask me, I'm telling you. As it pertains to the Ministry of Health, I'll begin with the new National Hospital. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you would, this new National Hospital would have been talked about almost every time. In fact, it made a number of calypsos where they said that it's a hospital in the sky, it will never happen, we're only fooling people. But just to let you know that the financing for the new National Hospital, which is a grant, a gift of $40 million US given to us by the People's Republic of China or Chinese friends, has been available for over 3 years now. In fact, it reached a point where the Chinese were telling us, listen guys, what are you guys doing here? We are giving you a gift of $40 million US and you're a bit slow in getting off the ground. And I'll tell you why we were a bit slow in getting off the ground. When I took over the reins as the Minister of Health 2 years ago, there were some, not issues, there were some things with the design that we felt that needed to be changed. Now, like everything else, things had to be negotiated, because we came in and we found that a design would have already been signed off on. However, I have a little advantage over my predecessor, is that I'm a medical doctor by profession. So obviously I will understand the way health system works, or what is needed, or what is not needed, what can be improved upon. So we spent the better part of a year and a half, my first year and a half as Minister of Health, going through the plans and listening to the concerns of some of the health providers, the doctors in this, and trying to see how we could incorporate these new changes into the plans. So this is why really we took quite a bit of time, even after I took over the helm as the Minister of Health. And Ms. Paul will tell you, as I said, I speak frankly, that there was a time Cabinet was telling me, boss man, what you doing? You check me? You trying to sabotage our project or what? But as I said, and I've told the country on a number of occasions, is that we were ensuring that everything was, in other words, whatever we finally received is something that was going to be beneficial to us, and also that the Chinese government or benefactors would be proud of giving us this gift. So this is why we spent the better part of a year and a half, as I said, back and forth, changing this, changing that, until we came up with this final design that we signed on. But all of this is water under the bridge. Work has begun for the past 3 to 4 months. I'm sure those of you who would have visited the hospital would see that work has begun on the new National Hospital. Now, I'm sure the next question, which I'm sure some of you smart ones will ask me, is why didn't we go somewhere else? Why did we build on the same site to cause problems? And even before I answer this question, I can tell you as the Minister of Health that I'm very satisfied, and I'm very optimistic that the interruptions to the work at the PMH, the interruptions will be minimal, meaning that because serious construction work is ongoing as we speak, and we have had very few complaints as it pertains to noise pollution, etc. Of course, it might get a little bit more intense, but we think that with the diligence of our Chinese contractors and also the commitment of the hospital staff, that the interruptions or disruptions to the health service at PMH will be kept at a minimum. So why the same site? Again, well, Ms. Paul wouldn't know, because she is a newcomer relatively, but it has always been the government's intention really to move to a completely new site. And already we had identified a number of potential new sites for the new hospital. However, and I want us to remember that, however, we were advised by the experts, and by the experts I mean people from PAHO, which is the Pan American Health Organization, which is a regional organization, World Health Organizations, and even the majority of the local healthcare providers at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Because of the demographics, meaning the population distribution, most of the population will be located around rural and environment, etc., and even access to some of the potential areas we're looking at, that it would have been more prudent to build the hospital on the same site. Okay, so of course, like a responsible government, and of course, although they accuse us a lot of times of doing what we want, we went along with the advisory of the experts. Okay, we felt that these are the people who knew better, and they assured us that it could be done on the same site, and then we went along with it. The hospital will be built in 7 phases. As we speak, the first phase is being implemented. The first phase would have included what they call the construction. Well, let me just rewind a bit. So the way it's going to be done is at each stage, you're going to have to build what you call a temporary structure to move whatever part you're going to destroy into temporarily. Then when that is done, you will then build this permanent structure, move them back in, and of course destroy the permanent structure, the temporary structure, sorry. So as we speak, we are in the first phase, what we call the accident and emergency department, together with some surgical theaters, etc., the blood bank. We have a temporary blood bank, meaning those of us who probably would have given blood within the past month would realize that we were directed to a temporary structure. But I'm very confident that I said that with the diligence and the record of the Chinese construction company. It's one of the finest construction companies in China that they gave us, that works will continue and will be completed on schedule with minimal interruptions to the health service. So the hospital that they said was in the sky has finally landed, and yes, it has. And in the next 30 months, which is the contracted time, where the Chinese will hand over the hospital to us, we should have, or we will have a new state-of-the-art, modern state-of-the-art hospital. And not just a modern state-of-the-art hospital, fully equipped with modern equipment. Most of you will know, maybe the younger one, what an MRI is. These are things that a lot of times we approach probably our PAL rep or even the government for assistance to go to Barbados to do an MRI. So this hospital will come equipped with all modern equipment that you can imagine, so that the travels that they need to travel to overseas like Martinique and Guadeloupe and Barbados and the others will be kept also to a minimum. And not only state-of-the-art equipment, we are in the process of also training a number of our doctors. And as we speak, we have over a dozen young men and women, Dominican doctors who speak English, being trained in Cuba and other universities in various subspecialties, geriatrics to deal with elder people, and nephrology to deal with kidneys, and just name it, about 12 or 14, and each year we are in the process of training another 3 or more. So by the time this hospital is done in the next 2 to 3 years, we are going to have a cadre of fully trained specialists, local Dominicans who will be there ready. So we're not just going to have a nice, beautiful building and beautiful and new equipment. We're also going to have a group of specialized Dominicans, Munuden, our people who understand our language, trained to provide new services to the Dominican populace. Now, yes, all of this is nice, you might say, okay, but what about the cost? And I think this is something that that worries a lot of us. And I've always said that a beautiful building, yes, and we can have a full staff of all sorts of new specialists, that's okay, new equipment. Okay, but it wouldn't be of much use if it's not accessible to each and every Dominican. Now this is where the whole issue of the whole topic of national health insurance comes into play. And as I said, what is that? You've been hearing about this national health insurance for a number of years. And yes, this has been discussed decades. In fact, when I took over the helm as the Minister of Health, I asked the staff of the Ministry of Health to get me all documents that would have been prepared on national health insurance, what they call universal health coverage. And trust me, the amount of stuff they brought me covered my entire desk. So that's to show you that this is something that has been discussed for maybe more than 20 years, as far back as probably the first administration post-independence. However, it has taken, this Labour Party administration it has taken them, it took them rather to actually implement what they call a pilot program, where $5 million in this financial year has been budgeted towards what they call a pilot program. And what do we mean by a pilot program? It means that while we understand that we have to reach a stage where each and everybody is covered, meaning that no matter what service you seek, that you will not have to pay upfront for this service, but there will be somebody or something in place to cover that cost. Because make no mistake, people, health, medical service is expensive. The doctor visit is already going to cost you your finger. They send you for tests, that's going to cost you the rest of your fingers. And then to go back to visit them, it will cost you your hand. And sometimes, depending on the intervention they would have to, you're going to cost you the rest of your body. Okay, so make no mistake about it. We all know how expensive health service is. So what this government is attempting to do is to put a system in place that each and everybody will be qualified to receive the same care. In other words, this new hospital shouldn't be only for the people who can afford, the people like Roselyn and Athenia who have big health insurance, okay? It shouldn't be for these people alone. It has to be accessible to the poorest man from, I can use Pititsavan, that's where I'm from, to the farmer from Pititsavan, to the farmers in Wuti. Everybody should be able to access this thing without fear, without favor towards anybody. So this is where the national health insurance comes into play. So this year we are piloting, we are targeting single mothers, I think with children below 3 years and below. That is the first group of people we are going to pilot. It is going to be implemented by the Dominica Social Security. Why Social Security? Because we already have the staffing and the framework in place to deal with such matters. So then, we'll see how this goes, and as time goes on, we'll start incorporating other groups of people. So we'll start with the single mothers, and probably we'll incorporate the single fathers, yeah, and probably the elderly people. Already the elderly people are already receiving over 70, over 60, and below 18 already receiving free medical care. So we'll start incorporating other groups until such time that each and everybody is covered and can access free health care at this new hospital. So this is the vision that your government has as it pertains to the health sector. I want to take a few minutes also to touch on another very controversial topic, which is the Marigot Hospital. And I'm sure because Marigot is very close to you, I'm sure it's a topic that would not only be of interest to you, okay, but also of use to you because of the close proximity, to Marigot. Now, unlike what has been said attempted to be fed to you, a new hospital for Marigot has always been on the cards of the Dominican Labour Party, okay? I want to repeat this. We have always had plans to build a new Marigot in hospital. And those of you who still have your manifestos, you could go back to your manifestos of probably 2 years ago, and you will see that each year we have mentioned a new hospital for Marigot. So you're going to ask me, so why is it taking all this so long? Okay? Now, when I came in, as I said, the new national hospital, of course, would have been government's what they call priority project. And I'm going to be honest, while I'm not making any excuse for myself or the Ministry of Health, and in fact, I remember when we had this last issue where they tried to make the issue of the Marigot Hospital into a political one. I did come on the radio, those of you heard me, and apologize to the Marigot and in fact the wider Dominican population on behalf of the Ministry of Health, because I felt that we had really moved a little too slow in getting this project off the ground. And one of the things about me is when I'm wrong, I'm not too big to say that we would have at least fallen short. But like everything else, as I said, the new national hospital really occupied the time of the Ministry of Health. And not just the Ministry of Health. A lot of times, those of us who understand the way the government system works, a lot of times we have to refer to other ministries or agencies for their services, design services, engineering services. Right now, within the Ministry of Health, since I came in, we have set up our own unit and have our own engineers, our own architects, so we can move faster with the program. Those of you who follow Parliament and those of you who follow the news would know that $1.5 million have been budgeted in this financial year towards the construction, designing and preparatory work towards the Marigot Hospital. And I will let you know that as we speak, we would have received the permission from Cabinet to engage an outside firm for the design. Because as I said, prior to that, we would have been at the mercies of the Ministry of Public Works and we'd have to maybe wait another month or 2-3 months until they decide, well, they do it for us. But we have received the approval from Cabinet to engage outside firms to tender it to them so they could send the designs to us. I'm pretty optimistic, I'm pretty confident that within this financial year we should see at least the groundbreaking and preliminary works done for your new Marigot Hospital. Okay? So as I said, I think this will be of interest to you because the government recognizes that this hospital is going to be in a very critical area close to the airport, and then we don't have any heavy service as it pertains to health in that particular area. So we know that the people of Woodfordhill and Wesley will also be accessing this service. So that's something that we can look forward to. Now I want to spend the next, I think I've spoken a lot already, the next few minutes speaking about the all-important CBI program, which is something that we would have heard a lot of. And although I'm sure Athenia and Roselyn, they did excellent, I'm so eloquently explained it, just to probably go a little more in depth. Now first and foremost, we have to ask ourselves what are the issues at hand in recent times. And one of the things that the opposition have been trying to do is try to mix up the whole citizenship by investment, what they call CBI, is a mouthful, so I'll say CBI just to be short, and the whole issue of the issuance of diplomatic passports. Now the issuance of diplomatic passports I will tackle first because it's of course a bit easier to explain. Dominica, we know, we are poor country people, okay? I mean, we doing okay, we still floating and everything, no civil servants are being sent home because of course of the fiscal prudence of this administration. Over the years also, this Labour Party administration, the Prime Minister would have been able to forge some really nice friendships with genuine friends who have helped us along the way. But we also have to understand that this country now also beginning to have their own problems. I mean, you see the news, you see what's happening in Venezuela. Venezuela used to be one of our biggest allies in terms of grants and all of this. We see what's going on in Venezuela. So we cannot be naive and decide, well, that we're going to have to depend on Venezuela all the time. Now, because we are a very poor country, but at the same time, we think that we have a lot to offer the rest of the world, especially in terms of investment. We are a virgin country. Unlike the rest of the Caribbean islands who have been saturated with hotels and beaches, Dominica offers a unique, a different experience to both investors and also visitors. The rest of the Caribbean promoted as sun, and sea. However, Dominica is known as a green country, adventure and hiking, mountains, etc. Apart from that, if you look at a lot of the Caribbean islands, they themselves will be saturated with what they call the franchise hotel chains, the Hiltons and whatever. You have them all over the Caribbean. However, Dominica is virgin land, meaning it hasn't been touched. So because of this, Dominica is a very attractive destination for both visitors and investors. So what we've been trying to do, we feel that we need to promote our country. Now, how do you promote your country? A lot of times we do promotion through what we call our embassies and consulate offices around the world. Now, we would have had these offices in traditional countries like America and England and Canada, maybe to a certain extent. I think we have a consulate office in and of course 1-2 of the other developed countries. But we have to understand that the world exists. The world is not only America and England and people that we know our whole life. We have high-ranking economies in remote parts of the world that traditionally that we haven't explored. For example, South Korea. South Korea is the world's 11th largest economy. So what happens is people will come forward, volunteer, or the government would identify people who we think can help serve as ambassadors or consulate or whatever term they use to describe them to help promote this country, our country rather. Now, of course, these people that would have volunteered or we would have identified through maybe our various travels would have to be people of stature, people with means, people who can probably even afford to open an office on their own to help promote our island. So of course, once somebody has been identified or volunteered, we would do due diligence on them as Ms. Paul explained. However, after the due diligence is done, there's no telling that what can happen, what can go wrong. And I can use ourselves as an example, myself, Athenia and Roselyn, okay, who would have been issued diplomatic passports to facilitate. Obviously, we were given diplomatic passports because we are ministers of government and to ease travel, etc. But who's to say, like, right now, Roselyn and myself, Athenia cannot go overseas and commit a crime. So are you going to blame the government for issuing us a diplomatic passport? No. Because at the time we issued the diplomatic passport, we were respectable people. We were not criminals. We were supposed to be respectable people. However, after the issuance of the passport, we decided to go commit a crime somewhere. You cannot blame the government for issuing us diplomatic passports. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm saying. So after these people have been identified or volunteered, then we do the due diligence. They issue the diplomatic passport, of course, to facilitate them moving around to help promote Dominica. Yes, over the years we have had one or two questionable characters who afterwards will have gotten themselves in trouble with the law. And once your government found that out, the diplomatic passport was immediately cancelled and withdrawn. Okay? So that is just the issue behind the diplomatic passport. And as I said, there's no way that your government issue a diplomatic passport to an individual knowing that this person is wanted by the international community. Okay, come on. I mean, which leader, which government would put their country at such risk? So, the few times that this has happened, that we would have immediately cancelled or withdrew the passport and life continues. Now, we need to differentiate this from the Citizenship by Investment Program, which again, Ms. Paul and Athenia spoke about quite eloquently also. And as they rightly said, we have a number of countries around the world who engage in this. There's nothing illegal, there's nothing sinister, there's nothing secretive about the Citizenship by Investment Program. People need to stop making it look like Roselyn and Athenia and myself that we have passports in our bag and calling people or when you go overseas, come here, I have a passport to sell. You know how much you give me for it, okay? First and foremost, the only legal authority to issue a passport in Dominica remains the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force Immigration Department. So not like Athenia or Roselyn or myself or the Prime Minister, we have a machine to print passport in our offices, people, okay? The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force is the only legal authority that can issue or print a passport. So how does this work? As I was saying, number of countries over the world have this program, a bona fide legal program. Even the great US of A. Those of you who have smartphones, when you go home, you can check the EB5 program, where if you invest, $500,000 US, they can expedite, they can fast track your green card for you. You with me? The great America, they say that looking at us and want to arrest all of us for selling passports. America themselves have this program, what they call the EB5 program, where you invest $500,000 US, then they fast track, they speed up your permanent residency status for you. So nothing sinister, nothing illegal about it. However, again, as I said, we would have, as Roselyn explained, when somebody decides to invest in Dominica, and how can they invest? They can either invest in a project, and most of them would be hotel investments. You mentioned Jungle Bay, which had been of so much value to my constituency, especially P7, post pre-Erica. Unfortunately, Erica did a number of them, and they had to relocate. And I heard the hotelier and Mr. Raphael praising the CBI program. Thank God for the CBI program, that right now we can now raise the funds from the CBI program to rebuild Jungle Bay to create employment, and it's going to be built bigger and better. The resettlement of P7, a project that is set to cost over $100 million. And I want my P7 people, I tell them, well, if they want to follow Lennox and these other fellas to talk nonsense, that is there. But the success, the completion, the success of the program, of the resettlement, depends on the CBI program. In other words, if what these guys are trying to do, if they succeed in killing the CBI program, well, how many of you understand Patwa here? Kai pul quasi for them. Meaning, yes, you feel the bat, because it means that government, because this $100+ million that this project is going to cost, government doesn't have to put $1 upfront, people. I want you to understand that. The project is being financed solely on the citizenship by investment. In other words, the guys, the consultants right now would be agents, so they will be telling people who feel that they have money to invest, listen, we can offer you citizenship, okay, or if you invest in this worthy cause, that is to resettle the people of P7. And again, as she said, it's not automatic. Once you apply, you have to go through the due diligence. We have a number of firms doing the background check. And again, like everything else, people, there will be one or two people escaping who will be of questionable character. No system in the world is perfect. Look at America. I mean, those of you who watch TV would see the number of terrorist acts that happen on American soil. A lot of these people will be people who probably come in for immigration, who the FBI were looking at after a while. They decide, well, them fellas are right. Only to find out a few weeks later they take a gun and go to a school and start killing children. So no system is perfect. America is supposed to be one of the greatest countries, if not the probably most secure country in the world. Look at the number of crooks and criminals and terrorists that are walking around on American soil, sir. You with me, sir? I see you shaking your head. Okay, so no system is perfect. So while we'll try our best, and we'll continue to help to improve the security of the state and improve on the due diligence, no system is perfect, okay? So this is the way it works. So you can either opt to invest in a project, as I said, and I'm going to back to Piditsavan. The success of this project depends on the success of the CBI. So when fellas think when you think that the guys and them, they're claiming themselves to be patriots and freedom fighters, okay, all they're trying to do is to destroy the life and dreams of the Piditsavan people. Because I tell them, as of now, the government would have tried to meet Piditsavan people almost full way in terms of assisting them with their rent, still getting a displacement allowance. However, this thing cannot be sustained if the CBI program fails. So that means if they manage to destroy the CBI program, I tell them, well, right now everybody will have to fend for themselves, or did we call you? You with me? Yeah, because as we speak, since Erica, we've spent maybe almost $10 million just by paying rent and the guest houses when they were in the guest houses and the displacement allowance for the Piditsavan people. If the CBI program fails, people, all of that will be done. So I tell them, well, they'll either have to take their chances and go back to Piditsavan, or those really who can afford will do what they have to do. But this beautiful, I'm sure, I have a picture of it on my pickup if you want to see. This beautiful settlement that has been planned for Piditsavan, for that to continue and for it to be completed depends on the success of the CBI. So those of us who think that we are doing good by listening to Lennox and the others talking about selling, that we're selling passport like we have passport in our back pocket selling, okay? That just wait if this program fails and then we'll see what happens. And we have to understand also the importance of this thing pushed up because of Erica. Erica left us a bill of $1.4 billion, $1.4 billion, people. And that would be money that we needed just to take us back to where we were before Erica. So you have to ask yourself, with all of this expense the government would have to do to build bridges and roads and houses, where we getting money to do all of these wonderful things? I'm sure that Athenia told you that the plan she have for you after Erica. We could have said that, hey, because America came, we have a lot of work to do. We could have finished even the program. We could have said, boy, we cannot do any community roads because we have main roads and bridges to build, that we cannot continue with the 70 years and over allowance. What else? The washroom project, we could have stopped that, and housing. But no, we have continued these programs because we understand the importance of these social programs, and all of this is made possible through the CBI. So just understand, simple, it is one thing I want you to go on with. No CBI, all of these nice, wonderful programs that the government have to assist, especially the less fortunate people, all of this is going to stop. And then while they laugh at us for programs such as the washroom program, this Labour Party administration will make no apologies for reaching out to people less fortunate, okay? Because not all of us were born into families or born with means to be able to help ourselves. Okay, so we feel as a government we have a responsibility to assist the people who are not so fortunate like ourselves, probably with steady jobs, etc., to help themselves. And I can speak to myself, and I'm sure in Woodfordhill and everywhere else in Paixbouche and the other country, part of the country, that the National Employment Program is assisting a lot of young people, especially single mothers, in at least having something at the end of the fortnight or at the end of the month, so they no longer have to be at the mercies of abusive spouses, husbands, boyfriends, etc. They can now help themselves to pay their bills at the end of the fortnight or the end of the month. And just in closing, one of the other ways that the investor can say, he can instead of putting the money into a project, that they can invest directly into a government fund, which is where a lot of this money is that we are using to do a lot of these programs. And hopefully yourself, Honorable Paul spoke about it. This is why they huffing and puffing and fuming, because they realize that with the way that the government is utilizing the CBI funds in reaching back out to people, putting back into the communities, washrooms, roads, that come next election, the way it's going, they cannot wait until the next election because they know that they wait another 3 years, and the rate scary they're going, as they say, throwing money in the communities. They know that at the next election they stand no chance. So this is why they encourage, they chime in, and all of that, they want to come in. And just to let you know in closing that your government also received very high praises from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank we know that Dominica belongs to what we call a common currency with the rest of the OECS. And recently we had a young guy, the new governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. He said he's very satisfied with the way the Prime Minister and the Government of Dominica, the way we are utilizing the CBI funds. Why? Because he said because this program is so volatile, meaning that while today we are the best thing in the market, and don't get me, and I'm telling you that we are right now the envy of some of the other Caribbean islands. So much so that some of them even starting to backtalk us and malpalay us, okay, the rest of the Caribbean islands. Because our program is one of the best. And I'm not saying that because of what people tell me. I've moved around a lot sometimes with the Prime Minister, and I can tell you that our program is one of the best. And I give you all the reasons why. Dominica is virgin land, Dominica is so beautiful, etc. A lot have been done in the other countries. Peaceful. And this is also one of the other reasons why all of what you see happening, people, is not random, okay? They know, and one of the reasons why our program is so successful, when people looking to invest or for a second citizenship, whether it's to come back to settle, to build a home, to settle, they're looking for an area that is politically stable. Meaning somewhere there's no, you know, when you look at the last 10 years, same government for the past 10 years, there has been this smooth transition. So when somebody now who plan on investing in Dominica now, right now, as we speak, especially given the events of the past couple of weeks, they go to Google Dominica, what they're going to see, they're going to see pictures of man burning fires in Roseau and business places. I mean, this doesn't paint a pretty picture of Dominica. So what you think they're doing, as I said, is not know what they think they that decide on their own to go do whatever. This was planned and orchestrated. Don't be fooled, because right now somebody will probably think twice, especially after the events of February 7th. Somebody's going to think twice about investing in Dominica. They're going to check him out. Hold on a while now. What happened in there? I mean, look, fellas, you with me? So you now going online and you don't know the facts of the matter. You're going to check our. Best I stay in Iraq or Iran, wherever it is that I'm from. You check me Iran or Iraq. No, but it's true. Because the images, especially when you see the images online and on the internet, they really don't look nice. You with me? So what they're doing, they're trying to destabilize the country in terms of security and political stability, because they know that is one of our strongest assets. We have had the same government for the past 12, 15 years. It means that the people of Dominica are very stable. We have had a smooth transition from one election to another. All international organizations have said that we have free and fair elections. So whatever it is that they're doing, as I said, they're not doing it randomly. It's orchestrated and calculated. So the governor who visited, my last sentence, the governor who visited gave us high praises, because he said, listen, we like what you're doing with the CBI money. Because it's not stable money. It's that you shouldn't use it to pay your civil servants. You shouldn't use it to pay your workers. Why? Because right now Dominica is maybe number one on the market. Next month, it might just drop, it might be somebody else. So use it now to put back into the communities, to build roads, to provide jobs for your people, to develop your communities, especially the rural areas. And we have had two exciting programs, which I'm sure they mentioned earlier. I'm not sure if Athenia mentioned it, that we have taken a decision in the cabinet that by the end of 2017, that all community rural roads across Dominica are going to be developed, either built, those that need to be rehabilitated, repaired, or whatever new important community roads that you have done by the end of 2017, and also that by the end of 2017 that there will be no pit latrine in Dominica, and everybody who needs a washroom, okay? In other words, you wouldn't even have need for public facilities anymore. And while, as I said, this is like a humble investment, people laugh at it. I can tell you, yes, I think somebody from your area sang a song, Scary, get them to it, right? You're from Woodfordhill? Okay, close enough. But, yeah, okay, but as a medical doctor, I can tell you that this is no laughing matter, people. I remember visiting some elderly people, senior citizens who maybe their family would have abandoned them, and maybe but these are people who would have made their own contribution in one way or another. So while they were not doctors or lawyers or teachers, but I'm sure they would have given birth to a number of people, young people, intelligent people. But somehow along the line, some of us, we falter, we don't live up to our responsibility to take care of our senior citizens. And having to visit these people at their homes, people, and to see they be there in a bed, okay, with a potcham. Okay, yeah, a bedroom pan, whatever you call it. Okay, sometimes they be days, okay, without it being emptied. Okay, it is no laughing matter, okay? Or even, I remember growing up as a young boy in Pit 7, I remember in my early years, I have to go to the pit latrine, and there's nothing pleasant about the pit latrine, I'm telling you, especially in the middle of the night. Or if it's raining. Okay, you're laughing. Some of you laughing, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, going to visit the pit latrine. There's nothing pleasant about this. Yes, sir, you know the experience, sir. Okay, thank you. Okay, but you have to be looking for house lizards and looking for roaches, everything. So, while some people laugh at it, I can tell you that this is probably one of government's probably most brilliant plans, because apart from it improving the standard of life of somebody, their dignity as a person, health-wise, okay, health-wise. And just months after the government launched this program, Prime Minister, the United Nations itself spoke about the elimination of pit latrines around the world, because they were concerned about the issue of sanitation and how sometimes some of these waste get into our drinking water, etc. So this has long-lasting health issues and also a measure of dignity and pride. I can tell you about the program I've done in Bagatelle. I mean, when I go around and I see, for example, where some senior citizens have to cross a few meters to go. Imagine they're waking up in the middle of the night having to go to an outside washroom, outside pit toilet, sorry, and right now they have their own little washroom. So while it might not seem much to people, I know that to the people, the beneficiaries, that it means the world to them. So I'm hoping that is something that I'm pretty sure you can put pressure on Athenia to get this started, or yeah, started that yet? Huh? Yes. It started? Okay, and make sure you put pressure on us so that Woodfordhill can also have their share of whatever is happening on a national level. I'm sorry it took so long. I want to thank you for listening to me. You've been a really good audience, and thank you very much.